Hello everybody, Mr. Sierra here in J101 with
Zanaya
Yeah.
and Jimena.
and we're going to be demonstrating for you today one of the more advanced cameras that we have available for our school. So if I can just attach this microphone right here. These are a lavalier microphone, really good to use. So this is what we call an SLR. SLR stands for single lens reflex. Let's just start with the basics. If I put a battery in here, the battery, so here on the Canon SLR, the battery, well, this is where the SD card goes inside. If I can flip that open, you can see where the camera card goes in, but the battery goes in on the bottom. If you rotate it underneath here, it says battery open, so I'll slide that, pop it open. You can see inside there, little springs and circuits. We have these different batteries. These are more square-like than the ones that we used on the other cameras. You gotta find the end with the contacts on it. So there you can see the contacts and how it might line up with the contacts inside the camera. So you just have to make sure you line those up, slide it in. It clicks in place. There's a little, to release the battery, there's that little gray switch right there. When you need to take the battery out, pops out, sticks back in. Close the door, make sure it's latched, and that's where the battery goes. So another one of the beauties of this type of camera is that you can have options of different lenses. This is a medium length lens. It's referred to as it has numbers on here, so it shows 18 to 55 millimeter. It's pretty average, and this works well for most purposes. But if you can do close-ups and you want to get that nice focus, like a depth of focus, we have a macro lens, which gets really close up. Well, as Anaya demonstrate that one if you want to take the caps off that. So to put the cameras on, some of them have white squares, some have a red dot. If you can see the red dot on this side of the lens, then Anaya's going to line that up with the red dot on the camera body itself. You should sit and twist, and you should hear a click. There's a little click there. And then to release the lens, you press that button on the side there. While you're pressing it, you can take the lens the other direction, pops off. And then we'll have Jimena do the other lens. All right, so Jimena is going to try the telephoto lens. This goes from, what are the numbers on here?
75 to 300.
All right, 300 is a pretty good zoom. Again, lining up the red dot, or does it have a white square? No, we're just using the red dot on this one. Twist, click. You feel it click in there? To remove it, again, press the button, twist the lens. Comes off, and we want to put these caps back on before we do anything else because they could collect dust or something could get in there. And I mean, if you can just put this lens back on. Now this lens, the standard one, actually has a white square right there, and on the body it actually has a white square too. I don't see a red dot on this one. So some have a red square or red dot, some have a white square. Twist and lock. Okay, real good. Thank you. All right. Okay, so those are the different lenses, and that's part of what makes these cameras so versatile, is that you can switch out lenses and you get really great image quality. Unfortunately, they don't get very good audio quality. So these have a small little, in fact, I think I see on both sides, you won't see it from where you are, but there's little air holes. Can you see those little air holes right there?
Yes.
So there are actually microphones on both sides. But we do have other options for microphones. We have these Rode mics, R-O-D-E. Popular brand, I think it's out of New Zealand. And the camera itself has what's called a hot plate or a shoe, so we can mount these. Some cameras actually get power from the camera, or I guess some microphones or even a flash might use power of the camera. But this is just a plastic foot that slides on, and it has a twist just to keep it from sliding off. Just a little twist lock right there. This, of course, also requires external power or a 9-volt battery. And then it has a little microphone cord on this side. Opposite of the SD card on this side, there's a little door. So now we do just find a way to plug in the microphone right there. It also has a headphone jack, just like when we use any camera with a separate microphone. We want to wear headphones to make sure we're getting good audio. Okay, so that's plugged in there. So if this had power, if there was a battery in here, I could actually be getting sound through one of these. We also have, I could of course plug this type of microphone through an adapter, or we have other wireless mics that are really good. That might be what I give you tomorrow. I'll also have this all set up for you. So I'll just go ahead and take that off. We're not using it right now, but you can just see how that goes together. You just don't rely on these for sound. It's just not good audio. Okay, in order to activate the camera, we're going to show you the back side. So I'm going to have Jimena demonstrate how we turn these cameras on. There's a radial dial on the top there. On the right hand side, there's a switch that goes from off to on. And then you can't see anything unless you look through the viewfinder, but this does have a little flip out screen, as you can see there. Right now it's just showing settings like a menu, but in order to see what you're recording on this viewfinder, there's a button on the right hand side. You see where that is? Right there, yes. When you click that, you'll see it switch to actual camera view. Now the lens cap's still on, but let's take that off, and you can flip it around so you can see it that way too, right? And once you flip it around, you can close it on back, actually keep it like that, and then flip it on back and show that on the back of the camera, you can see what we're recording, just like that. When you return these cameras, you don't want to leave it in that way because that leaves the viewfinder exposed. We want to flip it back out, rotate it, and close it again. So that's photo mode, but to go to video mode, now you can see it's in the on position, and you have all these options for still photos. But to go to video mode, you go one more switch. There's video mode. And then tilt the camera towards you a little bit. Let's see where this button is again. That same button we just pressed to be able to see the view through the little LCD screen now becomes the record button. So that is how you will record your video. You don't use the trigger like you do for taking photos. You use that little red button. Let's flip the viewfinder out, and you can flip it around. Close it on the back so it's easy to see. Turn it around again. So now you can see the video screen, what we're recording. If you twist the lens, you'll see how it zooms in and out. That is basically like a manual zoom. They don't have the electronic zoom like other cameras. But you just set up your zoom, get your focus, and press that red button to record. But we don't have a card in there right now. No card in camera. So that's kind of the lowdown crash course in using SLR cameras. So that, in a nutshell, is a crash course in how to use these SLR cameras. We do need to take good care of them, and it takes practice to get comfortable with it. It's back in the off position, so I'm going to have Sanaya demonstrate it again. So, starting with the lens, or the screen on back. You flip that around, flip it over, and close it again. So this is how the camera should look when you get it. It should have a lens cap, it should be closed up. So now you're ready to record. We want to record, right?
Yes.
So put it in record mode, flip the switch to, the switch goes to on and then record. You want to see what you're recording, so flip open the viewfinder. You can flip it over and turn it to the back. And close it to the back. And then to record, what button do you press? Right. The one with the little red button. Great job. Thank you both for being here and helping us demonstrate this SLR camera. And I wish you luck tomorrow.